Welcome to Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris. And today, joining the circle with us, we're excited to have this businessman and comedian. He has been known as the gangster of comedy. Started his career off touring with the legendary group N.W.A. Has shared the stage with stars such as Jay-Z and Lil'Wayne. He's mentored comedians such as D.L. Hughley, Jamie Foxx, and Mike Epps. I saw this man probably about 10 years ago. I could not stop laughing when I saw him in person over the phone. But just a funny man, but talks about real life. Mr. T.K. Kirkland. Thanks for joining the circle, T.K. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, but just one correction, because you guys solid. I don't like to be known as the gangster of comedy.
Okay, let me correct that.
Yeah, I know it's in my bio somewhere, but it should have been taken down years ago. So yep. I'm just T.K. Kirkland, that's all.
There you go, okay.
I think when you're stand-up comedian, to stay working, you can't be considered anything gangster. I've been working a long time, so I want to continue working.
That's what's up. Just jumping right in, I mean, just we're talking about comedy, how'd you get into comedy, TK?
Entertainment business came with me through a series of accidents, so to speak, I met Keenan Ivory Wayans. From Keenan Ivory Wayans, I hooked up with Charlie Murphy and Eddie Murphy. There was a bad incident that happened. I was in the streets for a while, along with getting my education. And then I decided to do stand-up comedy. And I was good at it, and I just stayed with it. But my situation that happened, I had street cred, but I also was considered a thief in a sense due to a situation that happened years ago in 1982 with Eddie and his brother Charlie. So I always try to tell that story, and it's bad that I got to tell it, but we live in a world of hate and devaluement that when you talk about your accomplishments, if anybody has something on you, they'll devalue and bring you down to the person that's admiring you or listening to the story.
Definitely understand that. And one thing, you have a pretty good repertoire of people that you've kind of come up with. You contribute that to being like the right place at the right time, or how did that kind of all come together? You seem some big names, including yourself, all kind of came up around the same time.
Yeah, it was. If this was considered a league, like the NBA and football, I would say the 80s was the greatest group of stand-up comedians and entertainers ever assembled on this earth.
Yeah, 100%. Those are all big names. Mountains of industry.
Yeah, some of the biggest names in the game came through in those years. Yeah. It's phenomenal. From N.W.A. to Public Enemy. Man, you got the Fat Boys, you got Houdini. You have so many people that just came up. I mean, one hit wonders. Adina Howard, I was listening to her song on the plane the other day. It was just so many people. Brownstone, the lady girl from Brownstone, so many. It was just a phenomenal time.
Is that because of where you grew up, or is that like the whole nation of people just all congregating in one area?
I just think it was just the whole world. I mean, I was everywhere. So, I've been, I started out in Jersey City, New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey City. Went to college, Arizona State. Went to Cal State Northridge. I'm in California. And then from there, for my whole life, even up to this day, I've always been at the right place at the right time. So I always teach people about opportunities in life. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I remember being on tour with Keith Sweat, and I was telling people that me and Al Heyman used to be buddies back in the day, because what people didn't know, Al Heyman was a concert promoter before he was a boxer promoter.
Oh,
so
wow.
he used to do concerts with Budweiser. So it was the Budweiser Superfest and all these things. He was killing the game. So he got into management boxers after that, but he was in the entertainment first. And I was one of his comedians back in the day. And he put me on tour with Keith Sweat, Bobby Brown, Tina Marie. And being at the right place at the right time, during intermission, they had played a song at the LA Forum. And the crowd lost their damn mind. And I was talking to Bobby Brown, said, yo, who the fuck is that, yo? So Bobby pointed the dude out to me. I walked up the stage, because, I represent myself since day one. No agent, no manager, just me. And I walked up to the brother and I told him, I said, yo, I'm T to the motherfucking K. And that nigga said, I'm Easy motherfucker E. So me, Easy, hooked up. He brought Dr. Dre and Ice Cube to come see me perform. I'm at the Comedy Store, and they took me on my first national tour straight out of Compton.
Man, that's powerful, man.
That's a big story.
Yeah, that's a huge story. I mean, people don't even realize. I mean, Al Heyman is like a ghost, man. I mean, he's been behind the scenes for so long. For our listeners that don't know, Al Heyman is Mayweather. You know what I mean? Is made the man that he is today.
Right.
So that's powerful because I know everybody has this conversation about you, TK. You know, I've been following you for a long time, but you've literally mentored and coached so many different people. I mean, I love what you said. What's interesting about you is you're your own agent, your own manager. What I thought was very interesting was, did you manage Sandra Bulluck way back in the day before she even like?
Well, let me explain to you how that is. And now some people do need management to the comedians and artists.
Sure.
That think they could do it on themselves. As some people are just born to do certain things in life. So you have to know what you're good at. I just happen to be good at business. Again, I hooked up with the right people at the right time. Met a gentleman named David Clingham. David Clingham, me, and another man named Tommy Chester. Both of those guys are deceased now. We had a company called Artistry Management, but I was in the streets. So no one could really know me because I was still trying to find myself. So David Clingham and Tommy Chester was getting the limelight for managing Anthony Michael Hall, John Leguizamo, Sandra Bulluck. And I only started telling people that I represented her with them over the last 7 to 10 years because I was just a quiet individual because my background, the way my OGs taught me is that when you're in the street, you got to be quiet. And that's why I always tell people, stay low key and flex occasionally. So I try not to let people know what I do if I don't have to, unless it's in a board meeting or a boardroom, and I can flex a little bit without being on the street. Because the day there, they'll kill you.
That's true. You hit on a bunch of different points. I mean, I know you got your own show with the TK Kirkland show with the podcast. I know that you connect with Charlamagne on that. And you've been educating a lot of people, like you just said. I mean, with social media, everybody thinks everything needs to go online. So I'm glad you're saying that. And, I know you mentor a lot of men that reach out to you. And, what do you tell them about that? Like, why do you think they do put all their business out there? Is it because they want to be famous, or what is it?
Well, I just think it's the way of the world now. The education level has declined a great deal. A lot of people who are famous today would have never made it in the 80s, in the 90s. And when the education level is low, the common sense level is low. You could be a clown and make it in this game. The thing about being a clown, the thing about being OGs, though, you have to respect it. And what I mean by respect it is the world changes, I'm quite sure the people from the 50s saw what they was doing in the 60s and 70s and thought it was crazy.
Yeah. When
R&B first heard hip hop, they probably thought it was insane. I remember they was gonna say hip hop wasn't gonna last, and they talked down on especially gangster rap. And gangster rap just really took off and still going on to this day. And even though Run DMC was the hottest thing since Syrup and Waffles, N.W.A. to this day has influenced hip hop more than anybody because of gangster rap. Yeah. But gangster rap has also been poison in the Black community because it's gotten people to put tattoos on their face. It's gotten more people on drugs and weed. So there's a lot of athletes that could have been athletes that wanted to be rappers that wound up being rappers but never got a chance to develop their craft in boxing, develop their craft in sports because they wanted to be an artist so bad. And then the kids today think they think backwards. And what I mean by that is the kids grow up church and be nice children and then get a record deal and all of a sudden want to be a gangster. They catching cases, they dying. They shooting each other, don't even know nothing about crime, but wearing a lot of jewelry every day, $1 million, hundreds of thousands worth of dollars of jewelry, just to go to the store, just to be seen. And stuff like that should be when you're on stage, you're rocking, doing a performance. So the gentlemen, but it takes men like us to have these type of shows. Hopefully people can listen and learn. But I always tell people, if I had a son that's trying to be a rapper, I'll tell all rappers today to follow the blueprint of Drake.
Yeah, that makes sense. He carries himself well, and he's out there doing big things.
He's out there, and he's making money. He's taking care of his family. He has a mansion. He don't have no tattoos. He ain't out there beefing with anybody. And when he beefs, he can shut it down. We already saw what he did to Meek Mills.
Yeah.
And that's what we want for the rappers and with the stand-up comedian. Because, I'm in both worlds. I'm in hip-hop, I'm in R&B, and I'm in stand-up. That's just a true blessing to be in those different categories. Because when you think of comedians, you only think of them in TV, movies, etc. I'm a businessman. Comedy is my side hustle. I've always been a businessman. And I made more money in the last 7 years in comedy than I've been in the game for 34 years.
That's powerful.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting is, you were kind of in it, coming up, and you were in the, like you said, the being in the streets. And, one of the things is, like, you have to have a pretty strong demeanor to kind of be in that environment. And, kind of transitioning into comedy is very light and fun and, kind of, making people laugh.
Right.
And also there's a lot of ego to it. You have to be able to take some of that heckling or bombing the show from the audience and being able to deal with that in a very kind of calm way. How was that transition initially, where you went from kind of, really having to show yourself, I would assume, obviously I don't know the situation, but being in that environment, you would assume, but then really kind of going into a place where you're putting yourself fully out there for people to, like, at their mercy.
Well, that's what separates me from all comedians. This is why the men respect me and the women want to fuck me, in a sense. And let me explain to you why. Because I'm not goofy.
Yeah.
Because I do represent masculinity. I do represent being a man. I do represent and handling your business, whether you're a player or whether you have a woman. I'm against gay people, but also respect gay people. And what I mean by that is, I don't think a man should date another man. I don't think a woman should date another woman, but if that's what you do, I respect you. But I'm still going to push my agenda to make sure that we have strong men out here. And I want to teach women to be soft and gentle. So when they do meet a gentleman, they don't think they're talking to a dude. Or, you understand what I'm saying? I think women should be soft and gentle. And when you talk to them, you want to hold them and be gentle to them, treat them like a lady. You got girls with straws behind their ear, Timberland boots. Like, the feminine thing is not gone, but it's on its way, in a sense.
Yeah.
So I when I come across stage, I just represent being a man. Yeah. I'm not goofy, never been a class clown. I don't do the joning. I don't go back and forth with other comedians, because like I said, I'm not really a comic. I just go on stage and really talk some fly shit that hoes want to hear, you know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about buying a female condo and nice cars and treating them good, and other comedians are being goofy, that shit is attractive, especially when you can really back it up.
Yeah.
So
I hear that, because that's, seems like a pretty, for me, it'd be tough. Not obviously a super masculine man, but I'm also a person, I don't think I put myself out there and deal with some of that repercussion. So I think that's makes a lot of sense.
But I've been blessed. I've been blessed from day one as a stand-up. Every comic could tell you, I'm probably the most consistent comic in the game. And I know you have people out there that might have been a lot more famous, but like Nipsey said, this is a marathon. So I got something up my sleeve. I got something up my sleeve that should put me on the mountain of the comedy game over the next year. And I don't think nobody's going to be able to top what I'm about to do. So I'm just sitting back. I can't talk about it too much because I've learned in this business that the demonstration is better than conversation.
Yeah. Well, we'll be on the lookout for it for sure. So we're
there's no way. There's no way you're going to miss it.
No, that's what's powerful, TK. You know, one thing I want to add on to that is, like, you had mentioned Drake and being able to pay attention. You know, I know Jay Prince and Birdman, who I know you connected to and did a lot of work with. Who was some of your OGs that kind of got in your head and got you straight to a degree? I know your whole backstory. When did you make that change where you would listen to like a Jay Prince or a Birdman or somebody like that said, look, TK, you funny as hell, you're smart as hell, you know how to build businesses. Like, when did that light click where you said, all right, let me do this?
That never happened for me.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I never had conversations with Jay. I never had conversations with Baby. I never had conversations with nobody. It was a choice I had to make, or I was going to prison for a long time. So if I had anybody to get me on the right track, I'm going to give mad love to Judge Margaret and One Central down in downtown Manhattan, New York City. Because she was about to put my ass away for a long time, and she wasn't playing.
Gotcha.
And she was going off for me because I had gotten away with so much stuff in my lifetime, and she wasn't playing. So I would say, Judge Margaret, is she still alive in New York City? That woman did not play. So I would say her correcting me, and then just all the things I learned in life from trial and error. You know, I didn't really have OGs. I had OGs that I hung with that was just getting money. So I used to watch and understood how to cake up, how to stack, how to save. But that just came from being, just having a brain of a sponge and sponging up game.
Gotcha. Yeah. With you saying that, I mean, look, it's been hard for a lot of people. I know you're very business smart, own a lot of businesses outside of comedy. Were you teaching people, hey, man, you know, like we had a barber on, like, say, for example, that was telling them, look, you got to stack and save. Like, even though you're getting paid and you're self-employed, like, you got to pay your taxes, you got to put savings away, you got to invest. Are you kind of getting a lot of comedians' ears too on that side? I know you work with DL.
Well, comedians don't really listen to comedians.
Okay.
We don't have the bond. Well, no, some comics do. Some comics have the bond. I'm not the black sheep of the crew. It's just that I never hung out with comedians. I don't really hang with nobody. Believe it or not, like, all my homies are dead or in prison or just getting out. So I've always felt it was best to stay to myself because I don't deal with petty conversation. I don't deal with trivial bullshit. I don't deal with he said, she said shit. I don't have no vices. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know, I might sip, but I don't gamble. I don't go to strip clubs. I'm here for a purpose on this earth. I know my purpose. A lot of people don't know why they're here. I just happen to know why I'm here. So I'm living out the dream and doing what I'm supposed to do. And every day I wake up is an honor because I'm getting all my minutes out of life. I don't have no time to waste. I don't waste it. I just doing my thing, yo.
That's powerful, man. I didn't realize you didn't drink or smoke or anything like that. Have you always been like that, or what was
always been like that? Yep, always been like that.
Is that because you're an athlete? People don't realize, man, you were a track star too. So
right. Came out of Snyder High School. Shout out to Snyder. Some of the best athletes in the world came out of New Jersey. And when I came out, we had Carl Lewis, Nehemiah back in the day. And it wasn't like I was the greatest athlete or the most talented, even though me and my coach had a conversation a couple months ago, and we talked about my success. And the thing that made me who I am, and I still have it in my DNA today, is that I'm determined. And that's the difference between people who have more talent than me. I'm determined. The thing about stand-up comedy, I have my own style. Like there's a lot of people who copied me, and we don't have to say their names because today is my spotlight on your show.
Yeah.
But they've copied me, females too. And they all tell you, everybody, Mike Epps will tell you the best. Everybody got a little TK Kirkland in them. And that's the facts. He'll tell you. Mike Epps will tell you that shit.
No, I could believe that, man. When I first saw you said who raised you, man, I fell out my damn chair, man. Because it's true. You speak real comedy, but it's real life at the same time. And I've never
and
seen
believe it
anybody...
or not, is people just find about who raised you. If I had shit like back in the day called "Put Your Head Out the Window," "Get Your Ass in the Car," like it was so many callback lines that was phenomenal. I mean, "Who Raised You" is good too, but man, don't go down that alley. Oh my God, it's just so many. So, I'm in my 60s now. So the thing now is to
TK, there's no way you in your 60s, man.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. You look
there's no way.
You look younger than me.
I need to find out. That's that no drinking and no smoking, man.
I'm in my 60s, fellas.
I need to get on that diet. Damn, look at me. I look like
I'm in my 60s.
Are you vegan?
No. I eat what I want to. I'm just happy.
Damn.
That's no stress. You just said it.
Yeah,
no
I'm
stress.
happy. I'm not married. I believe in dating a lot of women. So, I'm in a good place.
Man, that's powerful, man. Okay, I gotta ask you about just in general with business and everything that's going on, people recording. Like, you got the Dave Chappelle's of the world, Kevin Hart's of the world. Do you care if people record your show, or are you blocking it now? Like, because I know you travel around the country.
Let me tell you something. This weekend alone, I was at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I think I had 7 shows.
7, wow.
Yep, 7 sold-out shows too, by the way. Damn. I did 2 hours every night of new material.
Wow.
I can't tell the people that I'm the greatest. They have to see it. If I pat my own self on the back, oh, he's cocky, but hard work is going to show who's truly the best comic. Yeah. So we live in a world of competition. And even when I shot my last special, Who Raised You, the distributor was at the show. And he said he couldn't believe how much new material that I had. So when people record me, I don't really trip, because if you see 7 shows, you're gonna see 7 different shows. Yeah. It's not gonna all be the same. But like I said, I got something coming up for LA around February. Okay. It'll be a couple announcements. Hopefully you guys can come down.
No doubt.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I got a question. You talked about that new material. I remember hearing something a while back where, most comics focus on 5 minutes of great material. And if you're creating material that quick, what's your process? Like, do you just get out there and just go with the flow of the kind of the event, or do you really take the time to put in that much work to prepare for those events?
Well, you know how they say Jay-Z go in the studio and can do it at the top of his head?
Yeah.
I haven't wrote a joke in a book in probably 30 years.
See, that's talent. That's big talent.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't wrote a joke on a piece of paper in 30 years. And one of the reasons why I don't like writing on paper, because I write like a 10-year-old, scratchy, look like I should have been a doctor. So some people just gifted at it, and it shows like this. It shows like the TK Kirkland podcast, Who's Wax, The Breakfast Club, VLAD, No Jumper. These type of platforms have been a blessing for me, because in the 90s, I'm still the same guy. It's just that in the 90s, you had a middleman before you could get on Arsenio Hall.
Sure.
You had a middleman before you get on David Letterman. You had to be a certain type of person. Yeah. You had to be Black, but a little white, so to speak. Or, you understand? So
yeah, no, I got you, for sure.
I knew years ago that it was going to take youngsters like you guys to make me famous. I already knew that my success was going to come in my later 50s and 60s, similar to the OGs, like the Red Foxes back in the day, right? Because they didn't blow up until they was pretty much well-seasoned and older, right?
That's true.
So I look at my career like that. So I'm happy. I'm happy to do the show. Like I said, I almost canceled on you guys because, believe it or not, I was on the phone with Apple pretty much half the day. trying to get my phone together.
Yeah.
And then I got to cook for my daughter. So didn't get a chance to work out today. So I'm doing this 3 miles now. As soon as I hang up with y'all, I'm gonna go cook dinner.
There you go.
And then watch a movie with my baby.
Man, I love it. We definitely appreciate you coming on with us, though. That's been a good experience.
No, straight up, man. I got one question for you, because I know you got houses everywhere, but I know you got a house in Vegas. Mm-hmm. One question we ask all of our guests is, what's your favorite restaurant in Vegas?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I don't have one.
The house of TK Kirkland.
Yeah, house of TK Kirkland.
I don't really have a favorite nothing. That's how come it keeps me. I don't have a favorite football team. I usually fuck with the one that win. I don't have a favorite color because I love all the colors. Just like I like a lot of women. Like some people settle down and have one woman. Like I tell people all the time, you don't drive a car without a spare.
Yeah, you know what's funny, TK? You know, can I hear you talking through this? But one thing I'm kind of getting out of that is like you don't put yourself in a box. You know, you got your hands in a lot of different pots, doing a lot of different stuff, and you really go all in when you get into it. Whether it's comedy, like you said, rap, acting, no matter what, you don't define yourself one specific way. You're like in all of these different things. That's very interesting.
Like I'm even going to start doing motivational speaking. I always do it on podcasts. I got my first event in June for a women's conference.
Okay.
That they heard of me, and I got to co-speak on the board. I'm looking forward to that, you know.
No, I can see. I could already see you doing that, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Will you be doing any shows in Vegas at all? I know that Dave Chappelle just came on the map in July. Will you be doing anything here?
No, I try to wait for the right moment, because when it's the right moment, it feels good. Okay. So I don't force the hand.
Okay.
Everything in my life has happened organically. You know, it's like going into Barney's, New York, or your favorite clothing store, and you put that right suit on, and it just fits, so it just lay on you. Just lay on you. Or get in your favorite whip. As soon as you get behind the wheel, if your credit good, your money right, you know this is for you.
That's true.
That's how my life is.
TK, you done gave us so many nuggets, man. I mean, honestly, man, for our listeners, man, they don't realize what you said is happy, stress-free, and you in your 60s, you can see that, man. You can see the energy, which is, that's a powerful
see that
thing.
view back there? See all that back there?
Man, that was nice.
Yeah, you in Vegas right now. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be in South Beach in 48 hours. So I can't complain. I'll be on the beach with my kids, and we just living.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, really.
I got one last question for you, man. The pandemic. What did you learn during the pandemic that you could leave our listeners with?
I learned during the pandemic that the hoes I fucked with didn't have strong immune systems. And I had to start.
I was not expecting you to say that.
And I had to start looking for women with the antibodies.
So you got the COVID? Yeah, you got COVID?
Yeah, none of my women wanted to get on a plane. So that's what the pandemic taught me. So, you know, I make sure that everybody I mess with got a jog, I work out, I take their vitamins.
Yeah.
That's what the pandemic taught me.
Hey, that's a good lesson. That's a good lesson. Thanks for sharing.
Man. I can't say that, man. I'm married, man. You'll give me punch to the face, man.
No. You know, like I said, I tell a lot of young men, don't try to be like me, bull.
Oh, I understand that.
No. You got to be tough.
Yeah.
To be like me. Yeah, you got to have a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
You got to have your own everything. I own everything.
Yeah.
So
do your kids watch your show? Since you always around your kids, man, which is beautiful, man. Do you allow them to see your show?
No, they haven't seen my show, but my daughter travels with me all the time. And I took her to go get her nails done. And I said my daughter's gonna come in a minute and make sure she sits in the green room. They sat her in the audience. And she had a Shirley Temple watching my show. I didn't know it after the show. And I was so embarrassed. But she's 17. She gave me a thumbs up. She's like, Dad. And I was like, yo, you saw my show? And she said, yeah, but I was so embarrassed. So I'm looking forward to her seeing it again, because the particular night she saw me perform, I was doing something really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad my daughters and them really are close to me, because we teach our children about right and wrong, but we don't teach them about real life. And you got to teach the children about, especially men, if they fall in love with women, and how strong sex can take you off your path and have you doing crazy things, because too many men who are killing each other over females. There's too many men who have thrown their careers over females, and vice versa with the ladies who get pregnant at a young age, 18, 19, in their 20s, want to fall in love at 26, 27. I don't know what age you guys got married, but I always try to tell people that it's a beautiful world out here.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't settle down so soon, because when it's done, when they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust,
yeah,
the rap player.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of people, man.
And I always tell people, you should never die where you were born. And the reason why is that means you haven't lived. You stayed in the same spot pretty much your whole life.
Yeah, I hear that. That's a good one.
No, you telling the truth, TK. That's real, man. I waited, man. I'm 41, so I waited to get married, man. And got 2 kids now, so no, that's a real statement. You know, we waited to have kids. You know, my kids are young.
Yes.
And also you hit on a lot of key points, man. And then honestly, man, that's why I had reached out to you, man. I have been trying to connect with you for a long time, man. And I wanted that wisdom to be able to get to our listeners, to be able to tell them, look, man, it's a time to play and all of that, but you hit on so many nuggets of just real life. You know what I mean? It's not no BS, man.
Well, as you know, try to teach, and everybody should be 100,000, 150,000 richer because of what the government has done, and not our blacks haven't taken advantage, or Spanish people taking advantage of the SBA loans, the PPP loans, legitly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, if you hear somebody die from COVID, that FEMA is reimbursing people from people who died. If you know anybody that died during COVID, FEMA is reimbursing people from.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Yep, true story.
Oh wow.
Yep. Matter of fact, I'm doing an episode. I'm doing an episode on that on my podcast. It'll be out this Monday coming up on the TK Kirkland podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you listen to it. And there's a lot of people who died, and you put your money out. I got the people, and the hook, that is not even a hookup. I got the people, I got the information pretty much to show you how to get reimbursed.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's important too, because most people don't blast that out there. They don't advertise that to anybody.
Nah.
They make you find it.
Yeah, you gotta go find it. But that's why the other night I was telling the audience, we have to talk amongst each other.
Yeah.
We don't talk amongst each other. We don't share information. We'll take pictures all day. We'll shoot videos all day. Somebody fighting, or a man putting a knee on somebody's neck.
Man.
But won't nobody share how you can get a better home, how you can put money in your pocket, you know, how you can change the kids' lives, all that. How to leave somebody. You know, you just can't leave somebody. You got a plan to leave somebody.
Yeah.
Some people leave and they didn't have a financial plan. So now they're on they are dependent on someone else because they didn't plan properly.
Yeah.
And what I try to tell people is, your bad planning should not be my emergency.
That is the straight up truth, man, because everybody want. You're right.
Yeah, so true.
Man, TK, we really, really appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Just educating us, you know, the financial literacy that you left off with. What else do you have? Well, I know the big projects, you already said that. So anything else you want to share for 2021 other than the big project?
Yeah, just everybody follow me, please, at TK_Kirkland. Listen to the podcast, the TK Kirkland podcast. I'm one of those gentlemen that when you see it, believe it, because I made it happen. So that's how I move. I don't discuss things before it's time.
Yeah. Well,
so
TK, man,
just follow me and everybody will see it. And I think, how did you come up with your name, Vegas Circle?
So it's funny, man. So we've been going since the summer of 2018. And we were playing around with different names. So I'm originally from Chicago. Chris is from Detroit.
Okay, all right, two fly cities.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm doing a big show in Chicago with Bone Thugs and Harmony June 19th at Soldier Field.
Oh, that's what's up.
That'd be a nice one.
You know, honestly, it was just Vegas Circle, man. We wanted to put together, you know, the platform to give people the culture of Vegas, but also bring in other cities. And you know, we've had international people that come on. And we just wanted to talk, man, and just talk about real business and give people a platform. We ain't trying to be goofy. We ain't trying to do the TMZ and try to embarrass people and all that BS. We just really wanted to give a real platform and get it out there, man, and give people wisdom, you know, and
showcase all the success that's happening all around us we don't do. It's enough light. Like, you know, you hear about all the negative all the time, but we want to put focus on the people actually making positive impact on the culture of Vegas, in particular, but also throughout the nation.
Right. That's awesome, fellas. That's awesome. And how long y'all two known each other?
So, you know, it's funny, man, since, was it 2012?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
How'd y'all meet?
Working, man. We work for the same company, man. So we actually used to work on site. It's kind of funny, but Chris gonna say it. I'm gonna say it before he says. I used to be his boss, but it wasn't really. We worked together. He his own boss. So
he was an independent contractor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? Vegas Circle is all about, you know, uniqueness, and we balance each other out because we're two different people. We think different, and we want to kind of bring that out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We've been cool for a long time, almost 10 years now.
Okay.
So we've been having a lot of fun, man. What would you suggest? I'm gonna ask you this, man, because you super successful. You know, we could cut this out, but I'm just curious. You know, you work with Charlemagne. You know, you got in the podcast game. What would you share for us, just tips wise?
The goal is to get your numbers up.
Yeah.
So y'all can get sponsorship, because sponsorship is what pay the bills.
100%.
See, what people don't know about this game is you guys are sitting on $200,000 a year business.
Yeah.
When people know the business. So when you put the numbers together, and here's the thing, sometimes you feel like you got to go out and get sponsors, but once you know that you got the numbers, you pretty much can go to people and charge them to advertise on your show.
Sure.
And let them pay you guys directly. And you ain't got to go to 7-Up. You ain't got to go to Pierre Water. You don't have to go to none. You could go, since y'all in Vegas, y'all can go to mom and pop's restaurants, explain to them what they're doing, how you can advertise on your show.
Sure.
And whether you could charge 100, 200,000, 5,000, 10,000, and you ain't got to pay back. Just like how you have those plaques behind your wall, you put their things on right behind you. Man, you got a gold mine, brother.
Yeah.
And you guys got the good look. So, you know, take your business cards, show them the analytics, the numbers of how many people you reach in the city and pretty much around the world. Sure. I don't see anybody turning y'all down.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate that, TK. Yeah, it means a lot coming from you. You've obviously been around a lot, so you know what's going on. And
you got a true professional podcast. It's not, you know, you're not smoking weed, you're not drinking.
Yeah.
You know, so you just got to put the stuff behind you, promote it.
Yeah.
I think from here, and understand that a business, anything you do, it doesn't happen overnight.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
You gotta really be committed.
Yeah.
And you know, it has to be a lot of things. You gotta have if you got a girlfriend or wife, you gotta hope that she's involved and she supports you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you get successful, you could be sleeping with somebody that don't want to see you win.
Yeah.
They want they want everything. They want everything to be quiet the way it was. They don't want you to be famous or blow up.
Yeah. You're 100% right, man. My pops told me that, man, a long time ago. You know, what's funny? My wife's sitting right next to her. She the one helping us with this whole podcast too, man.
Right. See? So that's awesome. But you know, she's helping because she's smart, but she got to manage her dick.
Yeah, you tell the truth. You tell the truth. You're gonna have us forever. You don't give me no ammunition, TK.
By her helping out, she on the front lines.
She was with me the first time we saw you live, and man, I fell out laughing, man.
That's what's up, yo.
Yeah.
Now, where did you see me at?
At the Palms, man. So Mike Epps did a show here. And that was probably about 10 years ago. Like, you probably don't remember, but I hollered at you after the show, just said what up real fast. We were running out. But the bottom line was I had saw you before, I think on BT or something else. I had always saw you around just from paying attention to comedy. But I had never saw you live. So the energy in there was just hilarious. And then how you were killing the dudes in the crowd, man, just with the honesty. You're not a strong man. You're not ready for it, man.
Oh, yeah. I had them leaving down Atlanta this week, and they was running out of there, boy.
Yeah.
They slamming doors on their girls and everything. Yeah,
but see, I like that honesty. I like that honesty, man. I like it. Like, tell it to be real, you know?
Yes. I'm either going to intimidate you or inspire you.
Yeah.
Well, you inspired me,
get
man.
out there next time you're around, or even get out to California to catch one of your shows. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yes, when are you doing the February? Can you I'll reach out to you once you know the date, man. I'd love to check that out in LA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, trust me. Just stay in touch. You're gonna hear about it.
Okay, I got you, man.
Okay,
for sure, man.
Fellas,
hey, TK, seriously, man, I really appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Well, have fun. Enjoy your night with your family. Thank you again for coming on. And
you'll be able to check us out at thevegascircle.com, and please subscribe with us, man. We on everything, man. We on iHeart, Google, Apple, the whole nine, man. So again, TK, thank you, man. Blessings to you.
God bless you. May your pain be champagne.
Awesome. No doubt.
Appreciate it.
All right,
take care.
All right.